Jakarta, August 2023. The humidity is 92%. A 19-year-old girl named Maya is backstage, gasping for air through a panic attack. She hasn't eaten in 24 hours because her manager says her face looks too round on the monitors. In 10 minutes, she has to walk out and perform for 20,000 screaming fans. The stadium is a sea of glowing light sticks. Each one cost $30, nearly a week's wages for the average local worker. The crowd thinks they are witnessing a dream. Maya knows she's trapped in a factory. While the bright lights of Seoul project an image of perfection, the ledger in the home office tells a different story. $300 million in profit, $0 in Maya's bank account. This isn't just pop music. It is a sophisticated system of financial extraction, a new form of digital imperialism where the commodity isn't spices or oil. It's the desperate ambition of an entire generation, and the billionaires in Gangnam are just getting started. 10 years ago, the world looked different. The Big Four conglomerates in South Korea realized they had a problem. The domestic market was saturated. To keep their stock prices climbing, they needed fresh blood. They looked south to Thailand, Vietnam, Indonesia. They didn't come as conquerors, they came as saviors. The CEOs were hailed as visionaries. They promised to elevate local talent to the global stage. They pointed to Lisa from Blackpink, the golden proof that a girl from a Thai province could conquer Paris and New York. "We are all one Asia," they said. Investors went into a frenzy. Governments rolled out the red carpet, offering tax breaks to these cultural ambassadors. Parents across Southeast Asia spent their life savings on K-standard academies, hoping their children would be the next chosen ones. It was the ultimate win-win, a golden age of inclusion and Pan-Asian pride. The money was flowing, the music was catchy, and the brand was untouchable. But if you look closely at the contracts being signed in those glass skyscrapers, you'd realize the dream was never meant for the dreamers. It was a debt trap disguised as a debut. The year is 2018. The strategy has a name: glocalization. It sounds like a corporate buzzword from a Harvard business case. In reality, it is a masterclass in financial arbitrage. The Big Four didn't just want to sell Korean music to Thais or Indonesians. They wanted to build the music from the ground up using local raw materials, low-cost labor, high-value fandom. Here is the trick: the training debt system. Before a girl in Manila even breathes into a microphone, she is hit with a bill. $5,000 for vocal development, $10,000 for housing and maintenance, another $20,000 for visual enhancements, code for plastic surgery. In Seoul, these costs are high. In Southeast Asia, the actual cost to the company is pennies on the dollar, but they charge the trainees the global standard rate. By the time a group like Great Guys or Zoe Girls debuts, they are essentially underwater. The company isn't just their manager. The company is their landlord, their grocery store, and their bank. The money starts pouring in by 2019. An estimated $1.2 billion in regional revenue is flowing back towards Seoul. The arrogance in the boardrooms is palpable. They aren't just making music. They are civilizing the regional markets. They begin launching audition tours in every major city, from Hanoi to Bangkok. Thousands of kids line up in the rain for a 1 in a million shot. The stock prices for these K-pop giants hit an all-time high. They are the untouchables. In early 2021, a small internal audit in a Thai subsidiary flags a massive discrepancy. $4 million meant for trainee welfare has vanished into a shell company in the British Virgin Islands. The executives at the top don't even blink. They bury the report and announce a new stadium tour. They think the machine is too big to fail. They are wrong. The warning signs were everywhere. Internal emails from the Jakarta office in late 2021 were explicit. The debt load per trainee is mathematically impossible to repay. The response from Seoul? A directive to increase fan call prices by 40%. They didn't just ignore the bubble. They pumped it full of more air. Then came the Global Audition 2.0, a massive high-gloss campaign targeting the poorest provinces in Vietnam and Cambodia. The promise? Become the next world star. The reality? A targeted recruitment drive for content slaves. But here is the twist that turned a corporate scandal into a criminal conspiracy. The Big Four's local partners weren't just mismanaging funds. They were using the training academies as a front for a massive money laundering operation. They were taking donations from local political elites and washing them through the group's massive merchandise sales. Millions of dollars in untraceable cash turned into sold-out light sticks and digital downloads. The trainees weren't just pop stars, they were human laundry machines. The pressure became unbearable. In early 2022, a whistleblower, a former head of finance in Bangkok, leaked a 400-page dossier. It showed that 70% of fan club memberships were being bought by shell companies owned by the label itself. It was a fake economy, a ghost industry built on phantom fans and stolen childhoods. The whistleblower was silenced with a massive non-disclosure agreement and disappeared from the industry. The CEO went on national television in Korea the next day. He announced an even bigger expansion, the ASEAN Supergroup. He was smiling. He was doubling down. He thought he had successfully buried the truth under a mountain of neon and auto-tune. But he forgot one thing. The girls were starting to talk to each other, and they were recording everything. The fuse was lit. The explosion was only seconds away. The explosion didn't happen in a courtroom. It happened on a live stream. May 2024. 6 trainees from the Manila Project sat in a darkened room and hit Go Live. They didn't sing. They showed their bank statements. Negative $40,000. They showed the bruises from weight management drills. The internet ignited. Within 48 hours, the globalization bubble burst. Stock prices for the Big Four plummeted 15% in a single afternoon. $7 billion in market cap evaporated. The Thai subsidiary filed for bankruptcy overnight, leaving 3,000 local employees with zero severance. The CEO in Seoul, he resigned with a consulting fee worth $20 million. He didn't go to jail. He went to a villa in Jeju. The local partners in Jakarta and Bangkok simply changed their corporate registration numbers and vanished. The investigation was buried in a mountain of jurisdictional red tape. The girls were left with the debt. The fans were left with broken hearts. And the machine? It didn't stop. It just recalibrated. Today, the slave contract has a new name. They call it artist-centric growth. The industry rebranded the exploitation as mental health support while keeping the debt structures exactly the same. The big labels realize they don't need to own the girls. They just need to own the data. New localized groups are debuting as we speak in Vietnam, the Philippines, and even South Asia. The faces change. The language changes. The extraction remains identical. Wealth flows from the developing world into the pockets of a few men in high-rise offices who will never learn your name. We call it Hallyu. We call it a wave. But a wave doesn't just bring beauty to the shore. It pulls everything it touches back into the deep. Next time you hit play on that viral high-energy anthem from a global group, ask yourself, are you cheering for the star or are you funding the person who owns her?